Okay, so yesterday we have seen some of the pseudo classes. We have seen pseudo classes and the combinators. Can you tell me what do you mean by combinators? Hello? What do you mean by combinators?
The combinators are used to define relationship between different distinct
Okay.
for the select styling name.
CSS3 combinators, they define the relationship between different elements, right?
Yes.
So we have seen descendant selector, child selector, adjacent sibling selector, and the general sibling selector. I think we didn't add the code. Let's add it. General sibling selector. General sibling selector is tilde. This thing, right? Now, today we will see, so pseudo classes we have seen. Pseudo classes. Now, pseudo elements. What do you mean by pseudo elements? So, when you talk about pseudo elements, just a minute. Yesterday we have talked about pseudo classes. Few pseudo classes we have talked about. Okay, only this much we have covered, right? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So yesterday we have seen these many pseudo classes. So what is a pseudo class? Are the selectors that allow you to target elements based on their state or the position within the document tree. The pseudo classes are preceded by colon. Pseudo classes are preceded by colon. So we have seen hover, active, focus, checked, enabled, disabled. Few more pseudo classes we will see. And then we will move to the pseudo elements. Not a big deal, pseudo elements. Now, what I wanted to select, I will write the code. Let's go to the day 18. Let's create day 18. And here we can say new file. P or just say index.html and style.css. So here we can say HTML5 PSE UD pseudo classes. More pseudo classes. Okay. So inside this we have a paragraph.
The link.
Say that again.
Link. CSS link.
Yeah, CSS link. Link CSS style.css. Paragraph. Para 1. Para 2. Then div. Para, we can say in div para 1, in div para 2, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Now see, here we can say E colon first child. Can you see? First child is one of the CSS class, pseudo class. which selects first background color cadet blue. Now open in Finder, and if I go here, and can you see first element div para 1 in div para 1, first element, it will select only first element. Similarly, to the first element we have last child also. So here I can say p colon last child, background color brown, last child. Can you see this is the last child? Can you see that first child, it will select this and this first, but there is only one last, that's why last child. So we have lot of paragraphs. We can say p para 3, para 3, para 4, para 5, para 6, para 7, para 8, para 9, and para 10. Now I want to select nth. We can select nth child. So here you can go p colon nth child, and here we can say third or sixth, background color yellow. Refresh it. Can you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Why fifth it has selected? Because this is also one of the child. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nth child. Now you can remove this p also. If you remove the p and only nth child, see now what happens? Still same. Now if you want to, there is a div, and inside a div there is a div, and inside div nth child is there. We can say nth, sorry, this is yellow, second child. So this para 2, yeah, already it is given. That's why it is not happening. You can refresh it, right? So div, inside div, let's add one more, 3, and here I can say 3. Div 2 para, what's happening? Para 3, para 2, div nth child 3, background color yellow, para 1, para 2, para 3. Okay, the p last child or p first child, something is getting conflicted over here. Para 1, para 2, para 3. Well, this is the div. Inside the div, third one. Okay, why this is happening? Because this is getting targeted somehow, right? Somehow that is getting targeted. Now that's fine, but when you use separately, this will work. Presently something is getting colliding, that's why it is not showing you expected result. But main concern is that I wanted to show you this nth child or few more CSS classes, and there are a lot of other CSS classes as well. Hello?
Yes, sir.
There are lot of other CSS classes available there. Now, there is one more called as not. So, now again it will conflict. So let's try to comment this out and just try to run it again. Third, can you see? div nth child, third, div colon nth child. Just a minute. Let me figure it out what's happening here. Nth child 0 1 2 3. Yeah. So what is happening exactly here? It is considering third child as a whole. Can you see that? 0. This is 1 2 3. You getting my point? What's happening here?
Yes.
1 2 3. This is the third child. Here you are saying that div nth child, which means that select the div which is at the third position. Can you see here? Third position. And that's why whole and soul. So this is 1 2 3. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next thing. Not. We need to work with something called as not. Let me comment this thing. And we can say colon not p. Not p. A background color red. Not p. Background color. Okay, I got it. Let's do something else. Let's give text color. So this is little bit too much. It's a simple color red. What we have? Everything is p. Yeah, everything is p we have. So let me add something else. Say 4 is h1. H1. This also h1. This also h1. Okay, just refresh it. Not p. And if there is a p, give some color, say black. Not p, red. Can you see here? So what's happening? All the paragraphs are getting black color, right? And other than paragraph, whatever is there, that is getting red color. You got it or not? So one CSS selector we have seen, all fall under the CSS selectors. All these things fall under what? CSS selectors. Well, there are other lot of things available. First child, last child, nth child we have seen, right? Only type, optional, out of range, read only, in range, hover, focus, that we have seen. So let's write it. We can say h2 nth child and number. You need to pass the number. Then what we have seen? Not h2 not element. Remember that there is a colon. Here also there is a colon. Not element. Then what we have seen?
First child.
First child, last child. First child, last child. Correct?
Yes.
Now, Just a minute. So when you say nth child, a pseudo class element, this is the pseudo class element, sorry, pseudo class element selects based on their position within the parent using the mathematical formula, right? Using the mathematical formula. For example, nth child selects, we can specify the mathematical formula here. For example, nth child odd selects the elements that are odd numbered. You can add odd also over there. While nth child 3n selects every third child, right? Every third child. Then we have something called as not. This is the pseudo class element, excluding, you can say, the pseudo class elements that do not match the specified element or a selector. Specified element or a selector. So here we can give class also. Here we can give ID also. Okay. For instance, I will give an example for that only. Can you see? For instance, not, this is the class dot special. Selects the element that do not have class special. Correct? First child, the pseudo class selects first, the pseudo class selects the first child of a element. It is often used to target and style the first element within the container. The last child, here you can say, the pseudo class selects last child of a parent. It is used to target and select the last elements within the container. Right? There are lot of other elements available. These are just few pseudo classes we have seen. What I'm saying, these are the few example of the pseudo selectors. These are, I will write it here, otherwise you will, these are just few examples of the CSS pseudo. I'm getting some noise from your end. Pseudo class selectors. They allow you to apply the style selectively to the elements based on various criteria like this. You may search other things. Okay? You may search and try all other things. Getting my point?
Yes.
There are a lot of other things available. Now, we need to talk about, just a minute. Pseudo elements. Hello?
Yes.
When you talk about the pseudo elements, what are the pseudo elements? Pseudo elements is used to style specified part of an element. Pseudo elements in the CSS used to style the parts of the HTML element. So pseudo classes we have seen. Now pseudo elements. Okay. So when you talk about the pseudo elements in the CSS used to style part Pseudo elements in the CSS are used to style specific parts of an element. They are denoted by double colon and followed by pseudo element. They are denoted by double colon followed by the name of the pseudo element. The pseudo elements allow you to create and style the virtual elements or the parts of the elements that do not exist in the HTML markup, but they can be generated by the CSS. Here are few pseudo elements. Hello? Yeah, here are few pseudo elements. First, H2 colon before. Before. What is the before now? Now, so I will create file psel.html and new file psel.css. psel html pseudo elements, pseudo classes, html5 pseudo pseudo elements. So let's have h1, hey hi, how are you? Then a paragraph, some random text, lorem ipsum, and h1, this is another heading. Okay. Now let's go here in the CSS. See, there is the content not available in a structure. Pseudo elements gives you, see what is the definition? Pseudo elements in the CSS are used to style specific part of the HTML. They are denoted by double colon. Okay, pseudo elements allow you to create and style. Allow you to create and style the virtual elements or the parts of the elements that do not exist in the HTML. Now see, let's go here and I can say h1 double colon before, we can say content and let's try to add one image. So what we can do, let's download some, I'll go to the Google emoji. Or some image. Just a minute, I am searching image. Hello? Okay, I just have downloaded. And if you see here, party.png, this thing I have downloaded, and then you can give the URL before. Hello? See now, party.png. Now go here and refresh it. Okay, not index.
The link is not attached.
What's that? Oh, CSS is not there. Link rel CSS and psel.css and refresh it. Can you see automatically? So this part is not available in the HTML, correct?
Yes.
This part is not available in the HTML. But here if you see H1 before, add this content.
Yes.
So this thing is called as pseudo element. This thing is called as pseudo element before. Same after, sorry, H2 after.
After the content.
So I will comment this out. Otherwise it get confused with the, or it gets collided, right? After. Refresh it. And can you say after? This is not the part of HTML, remember that. Nowhere in the HTML you will find this image. But the image you have added later on, and that's what the pseudo elements are. Pseudo elements in the CSS are used to style the specific part of the HTML. They are denoted by double colon, right? Followed by the name of the pseudo element. The pseudo elements allow you to create and style virtual elements of the part, or the parts that do not exist in the HTML, right?
Yes.
Now another thing, I will comment this out. First line. Now what we can do, first line. First line. Well, I have downloaded image from this website. Flat icon from this website. Okay. Just for your understanding purpose,
Yes.
where I have downloaded, I have mentioned this. Yeah. Pseudo elements. Okay. Now we will write it. Don't worry. Let's see first. First line. What do you mean by first line? Let us see. Okay, let's close this paragraph. Just refresh it, and paragraph colon first line. We can say color red. Okay, we have only line, right? We have only line. Can you see? Second line is not red.
Yes.
First line. Similarly, there is something called as first letter. Sorry, H2. First
Later.
letter. Let's create the CSS. First letter. Paragraph. First letter. First letter. We can say font size 3em and color carrot blue. Refresh it. Can you see L is a little bit bigger, right?
Yes, sir.
First letter. Selection. There is another element called as selection. Selection. Can you see selection? Now, what do you mean by selection? So when you talk about the selection, the portion of the text, the pseudo element targets the portion of the text that is selected by user. So here we can say background color yellow and color black. Refresh it. Can you see? Can you see selection? Hello?
Yes, sir.
I'm selecting. Can you see this?
Yes.
This is the selection. Correct? This is the selection.
Yes.
So these elements we have seen. Let's try to write it. Before the pseudo element is used to insert the content before the content of an element. Before the content of an element, it is often used for decorative elements, icons and labels, right? After, similar to the before, when you say after, it is similar to the before. Similar to the before, this pseudo elements inserts the content after the content of an element. It is commonly used for the decoration purpose. First line, we have seen what do you mean by first line. Pseudo element selects and styles the first line of the text without an element. It is often used for custom text formatting. This is the pseudo element. First letter. First letter. Pseudo element selects and styles the first letter of the text within an element. It is used for drop caps or custom styling, text styling. Selection. The pseudo element targets the portion of the text that is selected by user. You can style the selected text, background color and more, right? Pseudo element provides, that's what we are saying. Pseudo element provide a way to apply the styles to the specific parts of an element content, enhancing your ability to create customized and visually appealing designs on your web page. Getting my point? So let me push this much code, go through it, and you can ask me the questions if you have any. A lot of things we have covered in the CSS. Remember that, right? So we are reached to that point. We have reached to that point where we can understand just a minute. Where we can understand few more topics I need to cover. This CSS3 page, CSS3 specificity, then / page, not important, after the specificity I will cover not important. Okay, so flexbox we have seen. Then CSS3, and after this I will start responsive design. CSS3 media queries, or let's do like this, responsive I have mentioned the syllabus. The web development section. Okay, basic syntax, box model, horizontal centering, display property, flexbox, media queries, positioning, float properties. Okay. Okay, responsive design. And into the responsive design, we need to have one page, CSS3 media queries. Media queries. Sorry, CSS3 media queries. Then page. What's this? Then meta tags. Viewport. Meta tags. Viewport meta tags. This should come first. Okay. Specificity, not important tag, responsive design. Then animations. Animations. Page. Here we can say animations. Under the animations only I will cover the transitions. CSS3 animations. Well, there are a lot of things actually, but once you learn these many things, that is enough. Correct?
Yes.
Flexbox is very important. Now, just a minute. Animations. Page. Animations. Or transitions. Or let's separate this topic. Animations and / page CSS3 transitions, animations and transitions. Okay. Then flexbox we have seen, media queries we will see, and there are some math functions we have seen like color. Well, it's not that big deal. Okay.
Yes.
So this is all about CSS we are going to talk about. So recent most precisely we will start with the specificity, responsive design, animation, transitions. And once you complete this thing, we will start with Bootstrap. Page Bootstrap 5. Not actually Bootstrap. After this, we will start the project. Page. Project. And this project using, I will cover 30% of the project, and you need to complete rest 70%. Okay.
Yes.
And GitHub billing counter management. I think I have added the project, right? Environment setup somewhere. Project module, completing billing counter management, billing counter management using HTML5, CSS3, using HTML5 management front end, or design using HTML5 and CSS3. This is the module 1, completing billing counter management project design using HTML5 and CSS3. I will cover 30% of the project and you need to complete rest 70%. Correct? So I will add details into this, but this is the first module, and then we will go for bootstrap. Then we will go for what? Bootstrap. And again, after the bootstrap, I am thinking to start, this might be subject to change, JavaScript. We will start with the JS, but I might cover a project module 2 after this. This might come. Presently I don't know. Page. No, let's not do that. Let's do after the JavaScript. We will learn in very much depth. We will learn. Then page. Here we will understand the DOM. Okay, and then we will cover project module 2. Project module 2. Same thing, same billing counter management, same project, same billing counter management we will cover. And then here we will start page React. And after completion of the React, again you need to complete project module 3, complete billing counter project using React and all other things that you have learned. Correct?
Yes.
So this is our path. So once we end with the CSS, once CSS would be getting completed, right? I might add few more topics over here if I want to add, but if you do this much, that is more than enough. With this much knowledge of the HTML5 and the CSS, you can build any design, right? You can absolutely build any design. Even the Canva or this whatever screen Notion you are seeing, you can do that as well. So I wanted to do this thing. I have done this part. Let's move ahead in the CSS. Specificity we will start tomorrow, not today. Few things we will see today. So let me push this much code first. CSS3 elements, pseudo elements, and classes. Now, where do you use exactly pseudo elements and classes? So let's case study dot html and case study dot css. Case study dot css. So HTML5, here we can say combinators, or we can say CSS3 selectors, which comes everything, combinators, elements, and everything, right? Hello?
Listen.
Yeah, case study dot css. Now let's have a main. Okay, into this main we can have a section. So first design the thing. Let's go to some Google form. Let's go to, well, this is my website. If you want to see, you can just check work in progress. So this is the main landing page, what I provide. So training and this thing. So presently this is work in progress, but this has been completed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you may check that. You may check how it has been developed and a lot of other things as well.
Sir, this link is on the
Yeah.
Notion.
So this is my website. Website link is not on the Notion, but I can add it. And here I can say trainer, HTTPS. Okay.
Yes.
Now it's available.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is how we will advance in the course. Fine. Case study.html. So in the case study.html, in the case study.html, just a minute. CSS3. Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Now let's try to develop a gallery using the grid. Let's try to develop gallery using the grid. So to the main, let's create main, or say HTML body. Just a minute. I will end one recording over here. Let me end one recording here.